2024 Buckeye Eclipse, sponsored by COSI.
Greetings from the Union County Airport as we get into the thick of the Buckeye Eclipse. We've been talking about this for actual years,
Yes.
and it's finally here.
Sir, madam, we have syzygy.
Almost. It's on
yeah.
its way right now. So if you have your solar eclipse glasses, you can look out right now and you can see the bite that's been taken out of the sun already. And the good news in central Ohio is that we can see it.
So it all worked out.
There are a lot of parts of the country that are having difficulty with that. Come on over here for a second. Let me show you a little bit about what we can expect. Do I have enough cable to get there? So that we've got to tell you what. Let's just talk about what's happening out there at the moment. So what we have is a bunch of sun with some high clouds, most of that not getting in the way of the sun at all. So what we're able to see is the really, really distinct eclipse, and we're going to be able to see that for at least the next couple of hours while this continues to take a bite out of the sun, and then eventually it's going to be totality, which is where it's going to be really spectacular. A lot of Ohio right now with some at least high clouds, but they're not getting in the way of the sun all that much. So this is
big cumulus to just
perfect.
move across at the worst possible moment.
And so for some of us who saw the 2017 eclipse, that's exactly what happened. It was beautiful, and then all of a sudden, the cloud showed up. I think we might have better luck this year because this is high cirrus cloud cover that the sun gets through without blocking too much. So we're in good shape right now.
We're very excited. We've got folks who are joining us as well, along with some local aircraft as well here at the Union County Airport. Everybody's armed with their glasses, armed with their cameras and the special filters that we need. We're going to give you the perfect view of this celestial event.
Just in case you haven't had a chance to get outside or can't get outside, around about 5 minutes to 2 this afternoon, we eventually got our first touch.
First contact.
First contact, yes. And we could just, right on schedule, just see the black start to move across. For us, it would have been the bottom right side of the moon, and now it's almost a half covered. Would that be about accurate?
That sounds right on, and we are still looking for about a quarter after 3 by the time we get full totality where the moon will move completely over the disk of the sun. And the fascinating part about that is it's really all about the math. So we are in exactly the right spot at the moment where the moon and the sun are the number 400 comes to mind because the moon is about 400 times as distant and it is about 400 times smaller. So combined, that makes them look about the same size in our sky. So that way, the moon and the sun can actually come together, cross paths, and we get totality.
One covers the other.
One covers the other.
It's interesting in that when we step outside, if you step outside your door right now, you don't necessarily realize that it's already happening. Got those special glasses, of course, that's key. And during this hour, as we all kind of mark this moment together, we're going to give you live views throughout the community, throughout the state, so you can see how people are gathered together to mark this day.
And we'll also be checking on the traffic situation here around central Ohio as well.
We have cameras all over the state, but we're also watching that. We've been watching 33 from here at the airport,
Right.
Yeah.
And so we can see even from here that things are a little slower than they normally would be. And we've had some reports already around central Ohio. 71 has been backed up a little bit, so you might notice that things are getting a little busy out there the closer we get to totality, and folks are trying to get to their eclipse watching spot.
So glad we're going to get the show, though, and that all of the concern about whether cloud would interfere, at least here in central Ohio, is gone now. We can just sit back and enjoy.
And you can also see we have some fun experiments on the way as well. So we can all learn together. We're going to experience this together, and we're going to learn together about what's really happening and the different ways that it impacts our world.
Can't wait for that. Marcy from COSI is here. She's going to be helping us through that.
So let's get out to some of the other cameras we have around the state. Who's next on our list? Let's get out to Cam is down at COSI this afternoon, and it has been a huge day there already. Cameron, what kind of fantastic experiments have you been doing down there today?
You know, Marshall, Bob, Stacia, I thought there were going to be a couple people here excited in the heart of Ohio, and I just don't know where they all went. I looked over here, I looked back here, and oh, wait a minute, they're over here! Hundreds, if not thousands of people have converged here at COSI, ready to look at 99.8% totality. They're hyped, we are hyped. This all kicked off at 1 p.m. thanks to this guy right here, Dr. Bertley. What do you think of this turnout?
This is awesome. We have people from all around Central Ohio right here at COSI, your #1 science museum.
This is so great. I mean, when you think about COSI being the center of science in Ohio, and what we're experiencing right now, we're starting to see that eclipse, almost the bite taken out of the sun.
Absolutely. Looks like little mini Pac-Man is having a nibble at the sun. It's really cool. And COSI makes science come alive all the time. But to experience Mother Nature do it for us is really special.
And it's one thing, we've been around a lot of kids on Good Day Columbus on ABC6, and I don't think I've ever seen so many kids excited. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime event, and are any of you 218 years old? Yeah! No, you're not, because that was the last time it was here in Ohio.
That was the last time, but we do people from all ages. We talk about from room to the tube. So to have all these kids, how excited are you? Yeah!
And it's not just giving them a great place to watch this almost total eclipse, but it's also teaching them. They got science experiments, hands-on kits they're giving out. And do you guys want to see a cool science experiment? All right, so scoot back just a little bit. Dr. Bertley, explain what they're about to see, because the big thing we've been talking about, Marshall's been talking about, Buck in the morning, Sarah, Phil, everybody, is we don't want to see clouds in the sky, but in this case, it's okay.
And at COSI, the way we open up our doors every day at 10 a.m. is to do what we call a cloud ceremony. And you nailed it. The beautiful eclipse, make sure you use your glasses when you look at it.
Yep.
The beautiful eclipse, we didn't want it cloudy, but we're bringing the clouds down to the ground. You ready?
Oh, we are ready.
I need you all to count down from 3, 2, 1, but don't move.
1, here we go! Thankfully, all the clouds are down on the ground and not too much in the sky. But again, if you're around the Central Ohio area, you still have time with that peak totality happening around 3:15. We got kids all around the place. Again, 99.8% coverage. It's going wild here.
I watch you guys on the news.
Look at that. We have viewers here as well. Anybody else watch ABC6 and Good Day Columbus? We got some big fans here, guys. We're going to toss it back to you as we get overtaken by the masses. It's Eclipse Day!
Always a shame that there's not more excitement around Cam.
It's very true. And you know, it's really fun what he pointed out, that for these kids especially, one of the things they talked about, I know at my son's school, is that the next time they experience something like this, they will be grown-ups.
Right.
So this is a really neat opportunity to mark this as a family. We're going to learn together. We have Marcy from COSI with us to take us through some experiments to help us really understand the power of what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be here. And our first experiment is going to be sort of related to the bracelet I have on today.
Okay.
So this is not only stylish, it's very functional. This bracelet has UV detecting beads on it. So when I'm out in the sunlight and UV rays are hitting this bracelet, we have multiple colors of beads. But if I go indoors and there's no more UV light, it'll be just white or clear beads. So I've got some UV beads under here being shaded from the sun. Stacia, do you want to lift that off so we can kind of see it in action?
So they start out as white.
They start out as white. Do they have anything covering them right now?
No,
no UV
just the
protection
box.
at all.
No UV protection.
So here's what happens. Let's watch them. They're white, and
Oh.
then look at that.
Look how fast.
Yeah, they really quickly turn colors.
Purples and the pinks and the blues.
Do those correspond to a specific wavelength of any kind? Or?
They do not. It's just the
Length
different
of light?
chemicals in the beads are different pigments of color. So that tells us there is UV light hitting us right now. We know
Power,
that. We know
yes.
there's UV light from the sun.
you
In fact,
Also brought some sunscreen
Yes.
with you.
yeah, and that's why we wear sunscreen, right? To protect our skin from the UV light. So we'll do a little experiment. We already sprayed these beads. So this has SPF 15 on these ones, and then we've got SPF 100 on those beads, and we can do a nice little comparison.
Look at the
See how
difference.
well that's
action
working.
there.
All right.
Wow. That's
So how does this
impressive.
relate to what's happening to your skin when UV rays hit your skin?
Yeah, so UV light is very energetic light. That's why it's more dangerous than, say, just the light bulbs indoors. So it can damage your skin. It does kill skin cells, and that's why we want to protect our skin from UV light. We need a little bit, not too much. So we're also today protecting our eyes, right, from that light. And so over there we've got some Eclipse glasses, and it's another experiment you can do. So you see those beads on the end of the pipe cleaner?
Right there.
Those ones are colorful, right? We've got that UV light there, and then we've got the ones that were underneath.
And they're nice and white.
How about that?
Now, Marcy, there's another end of the spectrum on this as well. It's not just UV light.
Very good. We're infrared light as well. So UV is what we always talk about. We've also, of course, got the visible light. That's why we can see each other. And then we've got infrared light, which we can't actually see with our eyes, but we feel it as heat. So those solar glasses actually protect us from UV and infrared.
Because they can both do damage to
Absolutely.
your eyes if you're looking at the sun. That's
Yes.
what's
Yep.
dangerous.
It can damage your retina, and it's something that you might not even notice in the moment because you wouldn't actually feel pain. You might notice it later on. So not anything we want to risk. So that's why we're wearing our solar eclipse glasses. today.
Hundreds of thousands of folks are in central Ohio and along the path, millions along the path here right now, hopefully wearing both those and the sunscreen here
I'm
today.
going to take a moment
and
to
being
look
safe.
because
Going to
because
check in on the bike.
that is, if you were to guess, that's more than 50%
Yep,
covered at
for
this
sure.
point. And you can really see the crescent beginning to happen now as the moon gets in between the Earth and the sun. And so the shadow is starting to make its way across the U.S. as we speak, and it will make its way from Mexico and Texas all the way up through the middle of the country, getting to us. They'll be about finished with it by the time it gets to here. Texas will be, well, they've got their own issues today because they may have some severe
Right.
weather. But the shadow will be through that entire part of the country before it gets here. So
It feels somewhat more like twilight now. Even
A little bit.
Are you noticing the difference?
Yeah,
Do you
I
feel
sure
the difference
am.
in your
I
eyes? I
Does-
feel like I don't need my sunglasses as
Right,
much
there you
right
go.
now.
Yeah,
There's
that's it.
just something that's just giving that extra layer of filter, perhaps.
So
at this
let's
point.
grab, because I think this is fascinating. Marcy, can you grab your colander?
Oh,
So
yes.
I love this. This is so much fun. So when you have just something as simple as your kitchen colander, it's got the holes in it, and so that's easy to see. So what we're going to do is when you hold that up to we're going to use a white piece of paper down here. You can see that it's just
Look at
holes.
those.
But can you also see?
Oh, there you
Look
go.
at that.
Now you can see those round holes looking more like the actual eclipse itself. So this is making its own pinhole projector, and we're going to play more with that in just a little bit. Close in, it's just round holes, but a little farther out, and you get to actually see the eclipse on the desk. That's so cool.
And here we are at a very active airport with an active runway currently. We've got planes landing, planes taking off, and we know also that we have our Kate Seifert, who is out and about as well.
Kate.
Hey, Bob and Stacia. So right now you are actually getting a view of what the sun looks like as it begins that path of getting to almost complete totality. So we are in Marion. We're on the OSU Marion branch campus. And as we are giving you this view from the sky, we're going to bring you back to Earth. We do have to change the filter on our camera. We have a special filter on our camera to protect the camera from the bright light of the sun. But hello, here we are. We are having a really, really cool day. There are people from all across the U.S. who are here in Ohio for this amazing event, as well as a lot of people from Ohio as well. And one of those people is Eileen. Eileen, we met earlier. You are from North Carolina. Yes. You traveled to Ohio, but you're also on the way to Florida, too. So that's not, Ohio's not really on the way. How did you decide to come here?
We have a lot of ties to the area. That my husband's family grew up in this area, and this was a great way to get everybody together again for an event we're really going to remember.
What makes being here so special? You got to see this when you were 10 years old. Your husband's never seen it before. What makes something like this so extraordinary?
This doesn't happen often. This is something that you expect to see once, maybe twice in your lifetime. And the next one coming to the U.S. is a long ways away. So for a lot of us, this is our big moment to come out and see an event that you don't expect to see.
Yeah. And you can attest to this. It's already kind of getting a little dim here.
It is, and it's just, you can feel the air, that the birds are starting to look a little weird and people are starting to look around.
It's really, really cool. Well, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your time in Ohio. And this has been a really, really cool experience. Like we mentioned, we have met people from all across the nation. So you just met Eileen from North Carolina. There's people from Washington, D.C. Actually, a family chartered a bus with nearly 40 family members here for this event today. You're going to get to hear from them during our normal newscast a little bit later today, which is super cool. But people from Maryland, people from New York, but then people all across the state of Ohio who just wanted a place to get to watch this once in a lifetime event on Marion's OSU campus. Super, super cool, you guys. And we are going to actually, after this, we'll get our camera back up so you can see this total eclipse as it happens. So we want to get that filter back on our camera. So I'm going to send it back to you, Bob and Stacia.
All right, thanks, Kate. Another excited area of Central Ohio is just jam-packed, and we've got crews all over Central Ohio to cover this eclipse and the reaction from folks on the ground from all different spots.
That's right. So Kate was in Marion, and we have our Tom Bosco, who's at Bridge Park with the crowd gathered in that area. Tom, what are you seeing, and who's there with you?
Well, what I'm seeing is a very, very large crowd here at Dublin's Bridge Park. Really fun to see here. I'm going to step out and have my photographer Ben Green padding around here and see this crowd. It looks like Woodstock over here. It looks like a huge crowd of people on this lawn here in front of the bridge here at Bridge Park in Dublin. Everybody starting to look up to the sky. Lots of folks with those special eclipse glasses, and they are seeing a large portion of the sun blocked out by the moon. On the ground, without the glasses, certainly it is getting a little bit more dusk-like here in Dublin. And as we continue to look at Dublin, I'm going to kind of describe what we've seen here throughout the day. We started in Delaware, drove up to Marion, then came back down the other way. It was interesting. Despite ODOT asking folks not to do this, we did see people on US 23 north of Delaware who had pulled off to the side of the road and were parked at the shoulder. They were then climbing up to the top of the Delaware Dam to take a look. Again, ODOT asking you not to stop on the highways or on major roadways to pull over and look at the eclipse. I've also spoken with the Delaware City Police Department and also the Delaware County Sheriff's Office talking about the traffic, because we've got all these folks are going to have to leave here soon after the eclipse, and they're going to have to go somewhere. Police and sheriff's deputies telling me that they don't have any targeted intersections that they plan on closing, but they certainly are able to take control of traffic when they need to, so they're going to be patrolling through the area. We can imagine it's going to be busy when you look at all these people who are on this lawn, who are then going to go climb in their cars at about 3:15 or maybe a little later after that and try to head home. It's certainly going to feel like, and certainly at a rush hour type of hour of the day, it's going to be a little bit crazy out there. So we're going to continue to follow that after the eclipse. But for now, we're going to stay here, check out the eclipse with these hundreds of folks here in Bridge Park, and see what happens after that. For now, though, back to you guys.
All right, Tom, thanks so much. About 23 minutes now, 22 minutes away from totality.
It's really exciting, and we're starting to notice the differences outside here at the Union County Airport. It's not quite as bright. We're not feeling the need to put our sunglasses on like we were even an hour ago. And also noticing a temperature difference.
It's very pleasant.
Which we'll talk about in just a moment. Right now we want to go out to Katie McKee, who joins us live at Indian Lake. Tell us about what you're seeing, Katie.
All right, so we are up here in Logan County. We're actually at Indian Lake, Bell Center area, which is about 20 minutes from Russell's Point. And we are noticing that it's starting to get a little dim out here. We've got a lot of folks that are watching. Hey, we're working, so there you go. All right. Yeah, got his glasses on already. Very cool to see, right?
It really is. You wouldn't even know, being here, on the ground, that anything's even happening. It's gotten a little cooler over the last few minutes, but this is literally, I'm trying to pinch myself. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Ohio has not been in totality since the early 1800s. Mm-hmm. And I asked Kurt Ludlow what it was like that day, and he said it was pretty nice. He's over there. I'm just joking.
He remembers it vividly.
It's a joke, my friend. Listen, But seriously, when we are in totality, we'll be almost 4 minutes here, and that's even is a very long time. So it's these glasses just fantastic. You know, you can really see it.
Good to remind yourself, obviously, not to look up without the glasses. We've actually seen a lot of people up here at the lake. I was here yesterday briefly, and barely anybody was here. We pulled into our little stretch back here, and there are so many people and cars and people from out of town. We saw when we were driving here, people pulled over on the rest stop areas, people camping out. I know that there was also tons of places that you could just pull over to park that were charged about $20.
I almost stopped in Madison County at a house I didn't know because they had like 4 telescopes set up, and I know they really had a cool setup. And then 33 just north of Honda it was like a big tailgate party, so people have come out. It's a beautiful day. I was so worried about the weather because you never know in April. Could be snowing out here, could be pouring, and instead we've got a beautiful day in the mid-70s.
I know, we really lucked out for sure. And as Kate Seifer was mentioning, up in Marion, people busing in. I think she said some folks were from Washington, D.C. We were just down a couple doors down from here, and we actually met some folks that are here renting an Airbnb. They're from Iowa. Pretty interesting to hear about their enthusiasm of wanting to see the eclipse. So let's take a listen to Jim.
We were about 98% where we were camping. And I said, that's probably close enough. I mean, you're going to see just about everything. My wife, who is much smarter than me, was like, no, you have to see the whole, we're 2% away, we're going. And the experience it's really supernatural. It's more than anything I'd ever seen before. It was literally a spiritual experience. It changes the entire atmosphere, changes everything. And so we thought, we got to see it.
Before, we were not in the totality at one point, but we saw a little bit of it, so it'd be really cool to see the whole thing this time.
Shirts are really cute. Yeah, so everybody's very excited, to say the least. We've met that crew down there. They have their matching glasses, their matching T-shirts, ready to go for sure. Once in a lifetime opportunity. He knew it. I think he's about 11 years old, that little boy Noah that we talked to. So
they've got they've got a band down there as well. That's where the party is. You told me the party was here. So yes, it's beautiful, and I can't wait. And loving that Central Ohio gets to be a part of this.
Absolutely, and we definitely love the fact that folks still came out, got Airbnbs in this area, even though so many things, obviously happened with the tornado a couple weeks ago. And we're on the side of the lake where we didn't see substantial damage, but still, just knowing 20 minutes away, they're still dealing with a lot of cleanup efforts. I'm glad people still made it a point to come here.
Yeah, it's good to have some good news up here. So, and people in a great mood, and neighbors out walking, and people coming over saying hi. So it's a beautiful day. Hope you're getting outside to enjoy it.
And you think things are going to get real weird when it gets dark?
I don't know. I mean, I've never been in totality, so we're expecting to be able to see stars, because we do have a lot of blue sky around here. It's already feeling a little bit cooler. Like I said, it's probably 5-10 degrees cooler than when we got here. So we'll see what happens if the animals act weird. I brought my crazy animal, my dog, so we'll see. He's always acting weird, so I don't know if that'll count.
Well, that's why I made you put those glow sticks around your neck so we could find you. So you didn't. Nothing didn't happen to you.
We didn't even mention these. The thing Katie got us. You should have heard her talking about these things. I thought, she was catering.
In case you go overboard, then we know where you are.
That's right. I did have a comment. Somebody said, "Hey, get close to the water," and accidentally push Katie in.
Oh, that wouldn't be a good situation.
I said I wanted to live past this afternoon.
Okay, good. All right. So yes, reporting here from Indian Lake. Really happy to see things the way that they're looking out here. Definitely a noticeable, like we mentioned, a notice in temperature change, and it's starting to get a little dark out here. So can't wait to see what it looks like when we're at full totality.
Katie and Phil, thank you so much. They're at Indian Lake, and we are anxiously getting close. It's fun because we're all experiencing this together, even though we're all kind of in different spots throughout Ohio, and even family throughout the country. I know on my little family group text, we've got folks all across the country updating on what we're seeing, what we're hearing. I have a little sister in Buffalo who's saying all the dogs outside are losing their minds. They're in Buffalo about what they're seeing. So there's a lot for us to learn, a lot for us to experience, and we're getting closer.
All right, down by my count, about 17 minutes now. 17 minutes, 3:11 approximately, is at least here at the Union County Airport is when we'll hit totality. You want to take another look?
Yes, let's take another look.
Here's our shot as we get
Oh, wow. I mean, that's a big bite now.
It really
that's
is.
really a crescent.
We're down to about 20% of the moon now from my looks of things. So we'll toss it over to our Steve Levine, who is standing by at the State Emergency Management's offices right now. They're keeping an eye on trying to keep everybody safe, including the hundreds of thousands who have moved into the path of totality and joined us here over the last couple of days, and keeping an eye on traffic as well. Steve?
We're here inside the state's Emergency Operations Center, which has been open since yesterday. Nearly a dozen state agencies, let me show you, have been here. Transportation, the Highway Patrol, the National Guard, and the Ohio EPA, all here focusing on crowd control and traffic. Officials say since this morning around noon, they have seen an influx of traffic coming out of Dayton, Cincinnati, and near the Michigan border. Again, they are checking out also events, more than 500 of them, going on during the eclipse. Officials say the biggest congestion, of course, going to be after the eclipse. That's why they are telling anyone who's in a different location and heading home to pack your patience. It could be a while till you get back to your neighborhood. They plan to stay open until 10, but if need be, they will stay up and open longer, depending upon the traffic and the crowd control. We're here at the EOC. I'm Steve Levine, ABC 6 News.
All right, thank you, Steve. We're joined here at the Union County Airport today by some folks who've flown in so that they can enjoy the eclipse without any of the traffic. And we've got a nice little crowd here enjoying this magnificent sight.
And everybody is really excited again, all experiencing this together, learning together.
Yeah.
And we have our Andrew Buckmichael, who is learning along with his daughter and some Girl Scouts in Darke County. Here's what they have to report.
Just getting excited. So girls, what do you think it's going to look like once we start to see the eclipse coming up?
Pretty dark.
Pretty dark. Anybody else have any ideas? What are you going to see?
Really, really light.
Really light? You think it's going to be light outside? What do you think, Michaela?
There's gonna be like little stuff around the moon.
Stuff around the moon. Anybody else?
Dark.
Really?
Very dark.
Really dark.
Or it's gonna be orange around the moon.
Orange around the moon. We got a lot of theories here, so we're excited to see the first eclipse. Is this your first eclipse ever?
Yes!
All right, we're excited for it. For right now, we'll send it back to you guys. So far, things are looking pretty good here. You can actually see the sun, but the eclipse has just started out here in Western Ohio, and we're getting pumped, right?
Yeah!
Back to you.
Oh, if you're going to be anywhere for an eclipse, Darke County would be the one.
That sounds very appropriate, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
So we are standing by. The eclipse is happening. Hope you got your sunglasses, your special eclipse glasses, actually. And of course, we're going to carry it for you live right here as we experience this together, and we will be right back.
I know. Let me.
We're back at Union County Airport. Bob Kendrick here along with Stacia Nucken and Marshall McPeak. We are about 11 minutes now from totality here of the Buckeye Eclipse.
And we are feeling the difference in the temperature and noticing a difference in the light. It just looks weird outside right now. You're not looking up towards the sun with your special glasses, just looking at each other.
Right.
There is something different in the air. We can really see it and feel
It's
it.
like special honey light.
That's what it is.
For now, anyway. Not so much in the next 7-8 minutes, though. Let's go over to Marshall McPeak. Marshall, what's the latest here as you watch this?
You know, what we're seeing is that different light that you mentioned, but also you're feeling a drop in temperature already. We still have a breeze. Sometimes that begins to let up a little bit as we get closer to totality. But what we have happening out here really is a bit of a cosmic coincidence, because when you look at the Earth and the moon as they rotate around, every once in a while the moon does get in the middle, and that's a cosmic coincidence. It doesn't happen everywhere, but our friends at the American Astronomical Society call it a cosmic coincidence because we're in just the right place at just the right time. You're looking at about a 400-time difference between the sizes of the moon and the sun, but because they're also about the moon's 400 times closer, they look about the same size in our atmosphere. Now that means that the moon can cover the sun almost perfectly. So when the moon is a little bit farther away, when it's at apogee, the farthest point in its orbit, that's when it's just a little bit smaller, and we get a different kind of eclipse at that point. We get an annular eclipse then. It doesn't completely cover the disk of the sun, but eventually, because the moon is still moving away from the Earth at a few centimeters every year, eventually over the course of millions or even a billion years, the moon becomes small enough in the sky that we will no longer have total eclipses. We'll only have annular eclipses. And then many, many years beyond that, we won't have either because the moon will be too small in the sky. So right now, we are in exactly the right place in the right moment in our solar system to actually have this cosmic coincidence happen. So it's very special for us to be here in this moment. So as we watch the light begin to change out here, we're getting closer and closer to totality. It may only last a few minutes, but it's something that you will remember for a lifetime. We'll get back to it in just a few minutes. Bob, Stacia?
Will you laugh at me if I put on a jacket? Because I am really feeling the temperature difference out here.
The breeze has completely changed in the
Yes.
last little bit. Okay, we're about 9 minutes away from totality. Quickly, we'll go down to COSI, where Cam Fontana is standing by with a very excited group. Cameron, take us there for about 5 minutes here.
Bob, it was really interesting. Stacia's already mentioned it, that it's gotten cooler, it's gotten darker, but what's also kind of eerie, it's gotten quieter. Kids were playing football earlier, and now everyone's kind of focusing in, and not just themselves, but for their family and with their family. We have DeJuan and Skipper joining us. I mean, how special is this to share with your kids?
It's great. Like, I've never experienced anything like this, so I'm kind of excited right now.
And with this being a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you guys to share this here in Ohio, what does that mean to you, Skipper?
It means a lot because this is hometown for us. So yes, and it being our first time here, being here to see this,
And to experience it with them,
it's a once in a lifetime.
Once in a lifetime. Now, was this something that you decided recently or something you knew coming up?
Coming up, and I was too excited to I can't miss it. So I was like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna be there at Coatside. We're gonna look at this and experience it. So I'm excited. Yeah.
And Sincere, I mean, I don't want to interrupt you right now, but I'm gonna get on this side of you. Get comfy down here. How's it looking from this vantage point?
It just looks super skinny.
It looks super skinny, and she's talking about almost like that thumbnail crescent that's happening right now. And here's the thing, we're not even in totality. We're at 99.8%, but so many people, we're going to try to sneak up on them, because what's funny is when they have their glasses on, they can't tell that I'm coming up, like right over here. Ma'am, how are you?
Hi, I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
How has your eclipse experience been so far?
It's been really nice. It's beautiful to see the community coming out and just enjoying some science, like genuinely enthusiastic about it. So
And I've seen you over here. You have been locked in. When I turn over, I mean, with your children on your lap, ready to watch this. Are you trying to savor that moment?
Absolutely. We're not going to live to see the next one, so we came out.
You know what? And now it's on television, forever ingrained on our screens. Thank you so much. And we're going to move right this way, sneaking on more people. Ma'am, how are you doing?
Awesome.
I didn't mean to sneak up on you. What brings you out here today?
Just the eclipse, wanting to see it.
Now, is this something that you guys had known for a while or maybe last minute planned?
No, this was planned. We're from North Carolina.
You guys came from all the way in North Carolina. Is this your first time at the Buckeye State?
No.
Oh, so you've been here before?
Yep.
Has the experience here at COSI been pretty amazing so far?
So far, yeah.
Wow. Now, what are your plans beyond today? Are you staying here or are you going to spend a couple days here?
We're going home today.
Going home today?
Yep.
Well, God bless you in that traffic. Hopefully you don't see much on the way back. Are you enjoying it, ma'am?
I am. I hadn't seen one since I was a teenager.
No way. Are you starting to relive those moments again?
I am. But I came from South Carolina.
And you came from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Now, do you know these people?
It's my son and my daughter-in-law.
Son and daughter-in-law. Now, son over here, you have the better view out of all of us because you're one of the tallest people here. Is it any nicer this much closer to the moon and the sun?
Yeah, I feel a lot closer to it.
You feel a lot closer. Are you going to have a very special time with your family today?
Absolutely. Celebrating the Hurricanes win yesterday and then watching the eclipse today. It's just a great time.
Now watch yourself because we're Blue Jackets fans, but today we're Eclipse fans together, bringing it into one. And then back here, sweet Chanel, watching Chanel. What does it look like right now?
It's like gone.
It looks like God? Like maybe his thumbnail? Is that maybe over here?
It looks gone.
Oh, it looks gone. It's almost gone, and we're seeing that little sliver. We have the Deegan family over here. Now, this is something that you guys are experiencing together. You toured COSI for a little bit. How special is this? Literally once in a lifetime.
Oh, so cool and so much better together.
Right. It's one thing to experience it alone, but to have your kids, your daughters, your son, is that pretty amazing?
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Love it.
Now, is this your spot right here? Is this where you're going to be for the rest of the time?
Yep, right here.
There you go. Well, I will get out of the way, let you guys experience it. Again, it's cooler. It's getting darker, and if you happen to be up in totality, that's your opportunity to be able to look up. But right now, you can't look up without your glasses if you're in the central Ohio kind of Columbus area. But look at all these people just spanning. Again, it's cooler, the light has gone down, but people are a little quieter and more focused in as we reach that total point, the full effect of that moon going up. But man, what an experience for these people. Again, traveling all the way from North Carolina, South Carolina. I'm going to try to get this gentleman right here. He's looking around. Maybe you can't see it. Sir, how are you?
I'm good.
Where are you from?
I'm from Earth.
You're from Earth. Listen, we're all from Earth today.
United Earth.
United Earth. He's got the We Are United Earth. Is this pretty cool to experience?
This shows you already how united we are when we have phenomena, right?
And that's a really
That's
good
our
point.
common language.
United in one common language. Millions of people right now looking up at the sun, and just that little sliver, Bob Station Marshall. I mean, we are almost there, right, guys?
It's the language.
We are 3 minutes officially for totality where we are at the Union County Airport.
So we still have a few things that are likely to happen between here and there.
Okay.
So,
Okay, what
Marcy,
are we looking
describe Bailey's beads for us.
Sure. So Bailey's beads is actually really similar to another effect called the diamond ring effect. And this is going to happen, we want to talk about it now because it's going to happen like in the seconds before totality. So what happens with Bailey's beads is you start to see that crescent get smaller, smaller, smaller until it looks like beads on a string. That's Bailey's beads, named after Francis Bailey, the first person who noticed them. Okay. But the reason it happens is because even though it kind of looks like it, the moon's surface is not smooth, right?
Oh, right.
It has terrain, it's bumpy, they have mountains and valleys. So the Bailey's beads are the light peeking through those mountains, and you can catch it just seconds before you get complete totality.
And the diamond ring.
And the diamond ring, very similar. So that's when you've got like one bright light left, and you're starting to see the sun's atmosphere peek around the rest of the moon. So it kind of looks like a diamond ring. We might even get a double diamond. So
we're
look
really
for that.
close.
We are really close, and I'm looking even at our live image right now of what we are experiencing here.
So part of what we're seeing here at the Marysville Airport, and you might be seeing some of this where you are as well, is it's beginning to look dusk at best, and late dusk at that. As we get into totality, you are likely to start seeing sunset or sunrise, whichever you prefer, on a 360 horizon. So all the way around you, you will begin to see that beautiful orange and the purples that we usually see at sunset. You will start to see that on the horizon in all directions.
And that bright light that we're seeing in reality here is going to just go away. I mean, you're only seeing a sliver through your viewer, but without the viewer, it is even, yeah.
But do you see the colors starting to happen on the horizon?
On the horizon.
Yeah. You see that happening?
Wow.
So we are very close. And are we
that?
All right, 1 minute to totality according
And
to
you
my
can
clock.
see here a live look from Indian Lake as well, where it looks like we are seeing a live view of, as you said, sunrise or sunset. It really is remarkable, the difference. Oh man, it's almost
gone.
It's
It's almost gone.
Wow.
So part of what we may have happening here is we have just enough high cloud that we may not get to see Bailey's beads, because these cirrus clouds are just getting in the way a little bit.
Can't see it.
But
look at the horizon.
Look at the horizon.
Look at that.
And right now,
oh, there you go.
There it is.
There you go.
You are now in totality in Marysville, and
astonishing.
You're looking at the corona of the sun. This star over here, that's actually Venus. Just down and to the right of the eclipse, that's the planet Venus. I can't really see it at the moment, Jupiter should be just off to the left of the eclipse right now.
And look at that sunset all the way around.
All the way around, you have a 360-degree sunset. You can feel. Did you notice the wind has let up significantly since totality, and we have. Do you notice how quiet it is?
Yeah.
You described something, Marshall, as we were gearing up for this moment, that this would really be kind of a remarkable moment for all of us. We're experiencing this together, but there is something truly magical about what we are seeing and feeling.
And from here, there's a tiny dot just on the bottom.
Yeah.
That may be, Marcy, hills and valleys on the moon, letting a little bit of that through?
I mean, it could be a prominence.
It's pretty pronounced.
So we also noticed that all of the lights have come on at the airport. The airport sensors think it's night, and so all of that has lit up the airport out here. But we still have just an incredible view right now.
And hopefully you're enjoying this at home as we are out here, because it is, wow, once in a lifetime for so many of us.
Now, important to remember, if you have taken off your eclipse glasses to look at this is the only moment that it's safe.
Okay.
You have to have those glasses back on before the sun reappears. So this only lasts for a couple of minutes at each location, so make sure you are prepared with those glasses before the sun actually comes back again. I'm seeing another star just out there on the horizon. It just disappeared behind a cloud again. But Venus is very clear in the sky right now.
And that's what's right next to the...
And that down and to the right, that's Venus at the moment. Now, do you notice that there's toward our... Where are we looking? West. So that, you notice it's getting just a little bit more light.
Yeah.
So that is the edge of the shadow. So just shortly, we are looking at the sunlight coming back again.
There it is. Yep, there you go.
Wow,
there you go.
That's the diamond ring.
Oh, is that the diamond ring?
That is the diamond ring.
Well,
there
how
it is.
about that?
So you got to see it. That is the one.
That is astonishing.
Now, notice how quickly some of that light is starting to come back again.
It doesn't take much light to all of a sudden bring this looking like the sun again in the sky.
I'm noticing a couple of planes, some jets that are in the sky right now, and I'm wondering if those are the flights that have been following.
For this?
Yes, they've been following the path.
We have some folks here bursting into applause for what we've just witnessed together. And the sky really is lightening back up again, just like you said, Marshall.
Very
this is gonna
quickly.
happen so quickly.
We can still just see Venus through some of the clouds right now, but already our 360-degree sunset is
vanishing,
beginning to vanish.
And the cirrus clouds themselves have a wonderful light on them now.
So, and as we are looking at what you all are looking at there, from this view you can see it definitely looks darker, but some of the views we've seen, the cameras are having trouble kind of balancing the changing light, which is so funny that we're asking them to do that for this.
Take a look. Cleveland is still in totality right now. So this is how fast the shadow is moving. So it has come and gone for us at this point. Cleveland is still in totality right now. And so the picture you're looking at now is what they're seeing in downtown Cleveland. There are huge events. Is that a prominence happening right on the edge? There are a couple of them. Look at that.
Is that the little tiny triangles?
Where you see it sort of peeking out from the edge?
Red.
So, Marcy, tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah, so a prominence, it's almost like a fireball coming off the sun, and that is plasma bursting from the sun, and it looks little, but it's actually bigger than the entire Earth, okay? These are huge, and you can see them especially when the sun is nearing a solar maximum, which it is right now. So that means the magnetic activity is really active right now, and this is what we were really hoping to see, is the corona is that white that you can see around the background, and prominences, which is so exciting.
That's incredible. Let's go out to Buckeye, to Indian Lake, because there's been a huge crowd out at Indian Lake keeping an eye on the eclipse there. Katie and Phil are there now. Tell us what you're seeing.
All right, so it is safe to say that everybody here, their minds are blown. I mean, definitely something that you can't even really put into words if you were trying to explain it to someone who's never seen it before.
When you're in totality, so you take off the glasses and then you see it. The pictures that we always see, and it was just an eerie color, and it was like it was the middle of the night. All of a sudden, it was peaceful. Except there were some people that were shooting off fireworks up here,
which
like
you could see really well.
You could see perfectly because it was like it was the middle of the night.
Yeah, and I think the first comment out of a lot of our mouths were, "We get why people travel to experience this in person, see it in person, because it is just it's truly wild."
Yeah, it's something that if you didn't get a chance to see it, chase it around the, you know, and figure out where it's going to be in the United States. It's not going to be in Ohio till, 2099. So it's definitely something worth seeing.
And I also feel like looking up at the sun with your glasses before we reach totality, it was wild to see just a sliver of the sun, but still see so much light.
Like right now, it seems like we're back in the middle of the afternoon, but you put on your glasses and there's that much of the sun that you can see. So the moon is still really obscuring. Looks like about 90% of it.
We heard folks cheering down the way, the group that came all the way here from Iowa and Michigan, and I think some happy people, and glad that they made the plans to make the trip.
Yeah, I know. None of us, I don't think, have been up here in totality, right? So it was all new, So. There we go.
I love it. I wanted to take a picture of it, but I kept thinking, don't do that without that little filter. That could be a serious problem.
That is correct. So it was fun. And I know everybody around, there's a wide path in central Ohio, so a lot of people got to see it.
All right. Very cool stuff. Yes, we're just in awe, and I can't believe I got to witness something like that. You said it was going to be cool, and you didn't lie to us.
I heard it was going to be cool, so I can now confirm.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Katie. Thank you, Phil. Out at Indian Lake here this afternoon, where I expect they have a pretty big crowd.
This has been a lot of fun to experience with the crowd here and COSI and having that expertise as well. And for the layman, it's just kind of like, whoa, that was awesome. But that really has been kind of everybody experiencing it. Even if you are an expert, I know, Marcy, even you said you were like, this was just wow.
It was surreal. This is the first time I've ever experienced a total solar eclipse. Being in totality, it was amazing. Seeing the corona is incredible. And we're not the only people looking at it. Scientists are looking at the corona because we still have a lot to learn about our sun's outer atmosphere. So it's really exciting. I hope we're going to get some amazing images from this and answer some of the big scientific mysteries about the corona.
All right. What has struck you?
I'm not going to lie. It's been a little hard to hold it together. Marcy said it's an emotional experience, and it is. It's a reminder of where we are in the grand scheme of things, right? So here's a star that's 93 million miles away, another orbiting body that's 250,000 miles away. They are aligning and giving us all this incredible experience, shared experience. And for a lot of us, it's probably the last time you're going to see something like that.
Solar eclipses, though, occur around the world every year, though, correct? It just depends on where you are, right, Marcia?
Yeah, there are 2 to 5 a year, but if anyone looked at that map, the shadow, it's relatively thin, and it lands in all different places around the world. So I think the next one in Ohio isn't until, what, 2099?
2099, I believe. So we're going to talk more about this incredible phenomenon that we have all witnessed together. We'll talk more about that when we come back.
Oh, I'm so glad you got that.
Okay.
We good on that one?
Hey, welcome back. We are in Marion County, Ohio. We just experienced something so amazing. I know Bob, Station Marshall were just talking about the phenomenon that this is. It's just starting to get light back out here. This is one of the coolest things that I really have ever seen in my entire life. And what a cool thing for people all across Ohio to get to experience. Right beside my photographer Ryan and I was this amazing group of guys. You guys were so vocal as this was happening. What was your reaction to this? I mean, it was cool to hear you guys.
It was crazy. The whole place was dark. We've never seen 100% solar eclipse before, so that was amazing.
What was your reaction?
It's really just a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I just love to see how dark it was, and then it just went light instantly right after the 100% eclipse.
And you, my friend, I heard you screaming. Yeah. What was that emotional reaction from you?
It was just I just felt like it was taking over my body. It was just so beautiful to just see the sun just getting taken over by the moon for a full 3 minutes. Just everything dark, and then being able to experience it with my friends was even better. So
amazing. Hey, thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. What a cool experience here in Marion. A lot of people giving us that awesome, raw, emotional reaction. Bob, Station Marshall, we'll send it back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Kate. And thanks to the gentleman for talking with us. All right, Marcia, what are we doing here now?
All right, well, we're feeling inspired by having experienced that total solar eclipse, so we're going to make some artwork with our Alka-Seltzer rockets. So we've got about halfway filled film canisters with water and a little food dye. What you're going to do, and you got to do this quickly, you're going to put your Alka-Seltzer in, put the cap on, flip it upside down, and step back.
One,
ready?
2, 3.
Good. Turn over. Seal. Move back. And so we're creating small Coronas. Small Coronas here. One of them has already.
One of them's leaking. That's
leaking.
okay.
Okay.
And what they'll do is there goes one. There goes two.
That was awesome.
One more. One more.
Creating
One
little
more.
gas bubbles that are expanding.
Don't touch it, Mom.
don't. It may still go.
Wow.
So,
Tell
Marcy,
us what
we've
we've
created our
learned
own
here.
Coronas.
Yes.
We've created our own Coronas. You can see this black piece of paper represents the moon. When you take it off, you'll have a beautiful piece of artwork. Much like this one.
So, but that's okay.
This is more an interpretive piece.
Yes, that sounds like the kind of work I would do. But this is really, I loved hearing from the young people with Kate just a moment ago, where this really is something that we can all celebrate the fact that we got to experience together.
Right.
Like, what a special day.
Again, not till the end of the century here do we get to see that in this part of the world. And you can talk about it as you have several times ad nauseum since 2017. But to actually, that moment of truth, to actually see it, I see what you're all about with this now.
Now we get it.
Now.
I think what surprises a lot of people too is that it becomes an emotional experience. It is an utterly scientific, absolutely mathematical project, but there is this unusual emotional component to it that I think most of us are not prepared for when we see it for the first time.
Well, and I think especially because we are talking about something scientific where we don't necessarily associate emotions connected to that, Marcy, but there is a lot, like you said, that we can learn from today going forward.
Yep. And the other thing I love to remember, my shirt says science is for everyone.
Yeah.
What a perfect example, right? All of the millions of people who went outside and experienced a total solar eclipse today, because it is all around us and it's for everyone.
Science was for everyone today, for sure. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed what you've seen here. And boy, we're just going to try and take it all in here. Process.
I know there were a lot of folks taking pictures today. You know, we of course had filters on cameras taking lots of video. Scientists are going to use what happened today to study the sun. It is going to be years before we have the final notes on what happened today.
But today we hope that you will share with us the pictures of how you watched this moment, how you experienced this moment together, so we can show more of that today on ABC6 News at 5, and that's where we will continue to tell this story, and of course at abc6onyourside.com.
See you at 5 o'clock. Enjoy your afternoon. Thanks for joining us.